The Roll of Honour for the past decade for the Champions Mile reads as a who's who of domestic champions and international stars as well. Abel won, an extension have won it twice. Of course, local legends, Good Barber and Abel Friend. And from the international front, Variety Club. And last year, of course, the mighty Morris. This year, the best of Hong Kong, plus 2 from overseas.
Rapid Dragon in front from Pakistan Star. The puzzle now complete. Rapid Dragon takes the derby from Pakistan Star. Beauty Only just in front. Joyful Trinity, Elaine Paragon. It's Beauty Only's mile. Elaine Paragon's got his head in front of Abel Friend, and it's back-to-back Group 1s for Elaine Paragon. Contentment burst away. The Queen's Silver Jubilee Cup is all over. It's Contentment.
So a super lineup for this year's mile, and I'm very pleased to say joining me to try and find out the winner, Steve Moran, Australian journalist and broadcaster, in the nicest possible way, a veteran of Hong Kong racing, and Ed Walker, of course, a trainer of Stormy Antarctic. Gentlemen, many thanks for your time and joining us. And Ed, I suppose first up, how are you and the horse settling in?
Very well. The horse has been here a bit longer than me, but he's settled in great. I saw him for the first time this morning. And the lads have been very, very happy. Jack and Deepak have been taking good care of him. He travelled great. He didn't lose a huge amount of weight. He's put that all back on. And as I say, yeah, looked great this morning. So very happy.
And Steve, if nothing else, he might get. We've certainly brought the British Summer with him, hasn't he?
Absolutely. And the thing I like about this horse and the fact that we've got Ed, Stormy Antarctic and Convey, of course, trained by Sir Michael Stout, is the race this year needed the injection of these two overseas horses. We've got Rapid Dragon, of course, and Beauty Only, who may well dominate the race, but it's just a little X factor. And Ed, something about your horse which takes my eye, he's got that little bit of swagger about him that often a good horse has. He's
a real character, yeah. He's got that bit of arrogance that any athlete needs to be supreme, and he's certainly got a big personality, and we're excited.
These conditions, it's absolutely bucketing down here on Thursday. Very similar to last year's Craven. Is the weather, is that something that's going to make a difference, you think, for you on Sunday, maybe?
He goes on any ground. He's been labelled a little bit as a mudlark, but he's run it on soft ground in the UK and France through default rather than design. So I think this rain or any rain on race day to make the track slower would probably hinder the others more than help him. I think he's still a very good horse on fast ground. He was second in the Jeune Chantilly, very quick ground that day. So he's got some very good fast ground form as well, but a lot of his form is on softer ground, but it's not something we've been out hunting for.
All right, let's have a look at the full list. The 7 runners for the Champions Mile, headed by Beauty Only, the international mile winner. He comes out of Barrier 2. Elaine Paragon, a 2-time Group 1 this season. Barrier 4 for him. Contentment, he'll go forward, we imagine, from Barrier 1. Rapid Dragon, the Derby winner, from 5. Stormy Antarctic himself gets Barrier 7. Convey from 6. And Circuit Land, Hugh Bowman jumps on board there. He comes up with Barrier 3. So we've touched on Stormy Antarctic. Convey, he seems to be a transformed horse this year. He's a year older, he's been gelded. 2 good wins on the all-weather.
Absolutely. I had no idea that those races were so valuable. Around 1.8 million Hong Kong dollars he's earned in those 2 wins. The Derby and the championship race there at Lingfield. He's got form on good ground on turf tracks. There's a number of horses that you can look at that tie in the form of Stormy Antarctic and Convey, and I doubt there's a great deal between them. I think they'll both run surprisingly well.
Yeah, you're obviously not here to talk about Convey, Ed, but do you have a line on how good he is or how good he might be?
Yeah, I think he's a very good horse on his day. He was certainly, I think it'd be fair to say, far from straightforward last year. But Sir Michael Stout is, as we know, an absolute genius and seems to have ironed out those quirks, and he looked very, very straightforward in his last 2 runs, albeit on the all-weather this winter. So, no, I think he's a talented horse, and as Steve says, I wouldn't be surprised to see him run a big race.
Yeah.
One of the Stout men looking after him is Kevin Bradshaw, who came here in 2009 with Spanish Moon and is still smarting at that narrow defeat at the hands of Darragh. So I'm sure Kevin is obviously very familiar with the routine here, and he's looked quite bright and well this week convey without really being asked to do anything much on the track. He obviously arrived a fit horse.
Yeah, the work has been done. Obviously, though, the two they've got to beat, the two local horses, Rapper Dragon, Clean Sweep of the 4-year-old series, and Beauty Only, who meets him on £5 better terms.
Yes, and £16 better terms from that Lion Rock Trophy sometime earlier. Look, Rapper Dragon, I've learned one thing over the years in horse racing, as silly as it sounds, winners win. You know, winners just keep winning. He's got that resilience, as even Zach Burton, who rides Beauty Only, has conceded. He just seems to find something more, even when he is challenged. He obviously has to be the top-rated runner, but Zach remains pretty bullish about Beauty Only, and as you say, there's that £5 swing around from a very recent meeting. We're not talking ancient form. So, you know, it's going to be very competitive between the two.
Do you give any of the others a chance? Helene Paragon, those 2 wins are outstanding, but slightly off the ball last time.
You'd be struggling to make a case other than the fact that his work was very sharp Thursday morning. John Moore, who we know is always pretty bullish about these things, but described it as outstanding and said Sam Clipperton came back and said, gee, boss, this horse has, you know, switched back on again after perhaps losing his focus for a while. And you know that the best of his form is up to this level. Contentment will go straight to the front almost certainly, and I guess if we got one of those silly races where he was completely left alone, he could certainly run top 3 without surprising. But to me it does look the top 2 local horses with the little wild card factor of the 2 from GB.
Yeah. Barrier 7 in a field of 7 is never the end of the world, but what are you looking for in the run? Where are you ideally looking to end up?
We just want a genuinely run race, you know, a nice even pace, even tempo, you know, so everyone can settle and get a fair chance. We wouldn't want a QE2 last weekend affair. Probably wouldn't suit many. But I think there will be, I think, as you say, contentment from 1 will go forward. Be interesting to see what the Stout team decide to do. He's obviously been doing well over 10 furlongs, so coming back to a mile. Will they try and just, you know, use that extra bit of stamina and go forward? They may well do. But I think from 7 we're going to just, you know, take our time, I expect, and just hope for a strong pace. Yeah,
you're obviously not here for the weather though, so you're expecting a big run?
Yeah, we're definitely expecting a big run. He's a horse, he had a really frustrating year last year. He won a Guineas trial very easily, the Craven, and went into the Guineas as second favourite, and being young and bullish and probably a bit naive, I kind of couldn't see him getting beaten that day, and he limped across the line out the back, and it was possibly my worst day in the business. I was mortally disappointed. He had an injury, he pulled the muscle in his shoulder, and then we gave him a break, and he came back from that really well and had a good run in a Group 1 in France, and then ran well again in France in a Group 1, not beaten far, 3 lengths behind Ribchester, which is, you know, really solid form. That was as hot a Group 1 over a mile as you can get, basically. And you know, he was a bit free that day. We got tactics a bit wrong, and you know, things didn't go smoothly for him. So it was a really big run. And then he was a little bit disappointing in the QE2, but he had a respiratory infection in between those races, and we had to give him a bit of time off, and you know, we were rushed to get him ready for that race. So it was a really frustrating year, to be honest, once, you know, having had such a promising start. And we retain full belief that this horse can and will win a Group 1, whether it be in Europe or internationally. And that's still very much the dream, and we believe that he can do that.
All right, well, it's decision time, Steve. I think I know who's going to be on the top 2 anyway, but Stormy Antarctic, is he in there for you as well?
Well, he is. Yeah, I'm giving him a little squeak. Look, it's impossible to go past the 2 best performed of the local horses, and Rapper Dragon has just built this extraordinary record. I can't see any reason why he would be vulnerable this week. John Moore has had this extraordinary record over the years of getting these horses to hold their form and string together consecutive wins. He's probably more tactically versatile than Beauty Only. You know, Joe could slow forward if that's the way the race unfolded. I think I spoke to John Moore earlier, and he said, I see them settling 2-2-2. And we'll be 1 out, 1 back on Rapper Dragon with Helene Paragon, the stablemate, following. Doesn't always work out that way, but he does have that tactical versatility, Rapper Dragon. So for me, he's the top pick in the race from Beauty Only, and I'm going to put in the 2 visitors, Stormy Antarctic just ahead of Conveyors. I think they've both got little sneaky chances of running in the top 3, and they'll be big odds on the tote here. So you can play a little tierce and hope that one of them pops into second or third, or in Ed's case, perhaps one.
Maybe so. Well, that's brilliant. All right, well, thank you, Ed, and appreciate your time as well, because we've literally dragged you straight from track work this morning. So win, lose or draw, hopefully we'll see you back again at some point in the future.
Absolutely. Excellent. Thanks.
All right. Well, last week we caught up with Joe Moran in our weighing in segment. This time round, well, it's one of the young guns snapping at his heels from South Africa via Australia. We weigh in with Chad Schofield.
Hi everyone, I'm Chad Schofield. My nickname would be Scoey or Little Scoey, one of those two I suggest. Favourite horse would be Lankan Rupee. He was a gorgeous animal. Of course, he was famous for having the perfect love heart on his head, and he's probably the most special horse to me. Supreme Profit in the Group 3 race here. That was a win I got satisfaction out of. I'd have to say the old man. He's always been my hero growing up and probably still is today. I love the way he goes about his business, and he's got a great attitude towards life. In the Premier League, I support Manchester United. They're probably not as dominant as they once were, but I still follow them and like to see how they're going. In Hong Kong, there's not too many jokesters, but I think Neil Callan probably thinks he's the jokester of the room. He's a bit of a loudmouth and tries to be funny, even though most of the time he's quite not really. Probably back in Melbourne when I was riding there, I had a horse stand in the gates with me at Sale in the 2,000 metre race, and we probably missed it between 10 and 20 lengths anyway. Eventually got up and won by about 3 lengths, so it was quite a bizarre race for me. Ronald Weasley, probably the colour of his hair.
There's one for all the Harry Potter fans, and quite appropriate really that Chad will be riding the Wizard of Oz in the Chairman's Sprint Prize. That's up next for us. Plus, will there be a fairy tale finish for a star of the global sprinting scene? That's Aero Velocity in his final start.